Hello and welcome. We are back, Tradie Business School, the podcast where we have some real down-to-earth conversations about how you can run your trade or contracting business more enjoyably and more profitably and create a little bit more freedom. I'm joined by the wonderful Barry Magliarditi. How are you today?
Very good, thank you, Miranda. I cannot believe that it's December already.
I know, right? I cannot believe it. This is a super exciting day. I can just see it. I'm a bit buzzed. You have just had the release of your second Amazon bestseller called Sex, Drugs, and Radical Self-Expression. How does it feel?
It's a little bit surreal, actually, because unlike The Path to Freedom, this one took a lot longer to publish. It was still written in 3.5 months, very much the same as Path to Freedom. But we decided to go with a publishing agency, which was very thorough in the process. So, on the one hand, I'm so grateful the book's out there. It's in people's hands all around the world. And on the other hand, I'm already kind of moved on to the next thing, which is a little bit the way that I operate.
Yeah, it isn't it funny. We get the thing out of the way and we're already moving on to the next thing. But that it's out there and in people's hands, really exciting. Tell us, tell the listeners out there wherever you're tuning in from. Hello and welcome everyone that is listening. Thank you for joining us today. We love having these conversations and it means a lot to us. And we're really excited that you're tuning in today. But Barry, tell us all a little bit about what's this book about.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, or more so interesting explanation of the question. And I guess I understand this is a podcast for trades and general contractors to grow your business. And I've been growing businesses for over 18 years now, Miranda. And as much as strategy and tactics and plans are really important to grow great businesses, one thing that I know 100% in every cell in my whole entire body is that we can never outgrow ourselves. And what I mean by that is we can never grow a business beyond ourselves, right? We never have business problems. We have personal problems that get expressed through our business. Now, anyone that rejects that statement, I can guarantee with time will come to understand it, because business very much is a journey of personal growth, or some would even say a journey of spiritual growth. Spiritual doesn't have to mean God or Jesus or Buddha. It could just mean back to self, back to us as spirit. And I guess I wrote the first book, which, I got to a position where I felt I'd achieved enough success in business that it was time to document that and to stake the flag on the moon, so to speak. And that was the release of The Path to Freedom. Now, that was a very easy book to write because it was based on a tried and tested methodology that I'd used many times. And we'd also used amongst hundreds and thousands of clients to grow profitable businesses that can work without them. This second book was a bit different. I felt this intuition, this spidey sense, this gut feeling that I needed to write a second book. Now, anyone that knows me personally knows that I make a majority of my decisions based on intuition, based on an instinct, not so much on logic, which, to be honest, has served me very well. But it's quite different to the way a lot of us have been brought up to make decisions on logic and reason and past experience. But I had this feeling that I needed to write a second book. And when I first started writing it, the working title was The Spiritual CEO. And at the time, I thought it was going to be a book written around how I was kind of using my intuition and this seemingly sixth sense to make decisions and grow businesses like quite phenomenally well. Yet what ended up coming through me in this 13, 14 week process was the book Now Sex, Drugs and Radical Self-Expression. Essentially, it's very much a book that's divided into three parts. It's divided in heart. And when I mean heart, I mean like intuition, connection to source, connection to spirit. Who are we really behind all of our beliefs and all of our traumas, all of our experiences, all of our upbringing? Like, who are we at the core? What's our deepest essence? The second part of the book is around head, which is very much around like our mindset, our psychology, our beliefs, the guilt, the shame, the appearances, the identity, the conflicts that we all have at some degree in life, consciously, unconsciously. And the third part is around like hand or embodiment. And that's more so around an aspect of taking action on what we know, or this new state of reality. But it's also around how the body itself can actually hold and carry experiences within our cellular memory.
Very, very different to the usual stuff we talk about, yet so relevant in so many ways because, and I say this all the time to our clients in the program as we're whole human beings. It's a human experience. And yes, we're here to talk business bits and pieces, strategy, systems, whatever it might be. Yet the human experience and all of that is very, very powerful. You look at how many people achieve different results with the same tools in front of them. It is us as beings that create that reality for ourselves, and I just love this exploration. So you started out with one mission, the spiritual CEO, and I love the language you always use. As something else came through me. And when did you notice it started changing and the message started changing?
So the first book was very much based on methodology, whereas this second book, I had a rough idea around these three elements that I wanted to speak about. And essentially, these three elements were the way that I feel I got to where I am. I had somewhat of a spiritual awakening that I speak about in the book. I was pretty atheist. I was, couldn't or didn't really believe anything that I couldn't see or touch. And I had some experiences that happened that were so profound and so phenomenal that I couldn't any longer disbelieve that there was something beyond us, right? Whatever your belief is, I guess I share in such a way that everyone can agree that there is something out there. Then from that, I had this experience where I experienced bankruptcy. And I guess I questioned my relationship with myself and source and spirit. Like, how could I be bankrupt and lose $1.3 million when I'm a good person, I'm doing good things and all these types of things? And that was the I guess the mental awakening that caused me to seek understanding around psychology, around different parts of our mindset and our identity. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. This is the yin and yang of life. I've got the heart and the spirit, and I've got the head. And it wasn't until 3 years ago that I started to have these other experiences around somatic work in the body. And at that point, I was like, no, there's three elements. There's the Holy Trinity, which is head, heart, and hand, right? And so the way that I wrote the book, I guess, was, the last 18 years of my life and how I journeyed from, being this school dropout who didn't love himself, who never had any friends, who had incredibly shitty sexual experiences and experiences with partners, got into drug use and, deep depression and anxiety and all this stuff 18 years ago to where I am now, where, I'm a multimillionaire. I own, several multi-million dollar companies, financially free, live in Bali, have an amazing relationship, beautiful kids, surf most days, and can operate my businesses in less than a day a week. Now, anyone that didn't know me back then, it's like, oh, he's lucky, or he was born into money, or he was smart. No, I was a fucking high school dropout. Like, I was so dumb. I had no idea about life or how life was to work. And yet I got here through educating myself. I got here through, diving into aspects of spirituality and religion, diving into aspects of psychology and physiology and quantum physics. I got here through, going to some pretty woo-woo and out there events here in Bali, some that worked and some that didn't work, and also experimenting from an early age with drugs, but later on with plant-based medicines, which, are becoming more and more popular. And so I guess, when I say come through me, is I literally rocked up every week with the intention to write a chapter, and I wrote what was ever there for me. Like there was no thinking it through. It's like I just channeled or wrote whatever was there for me, which became the book, which is, I guess, the opportunity for many people to have a shortcut journey to their dream life. Like, your dream life most likely is not mine, nor would I ever try to impose mine on you. But if there is something that I've learned through doing it the hard way or through a mass investment of money or time educating myself. And I'm able to, in the 340 odd pages of that book, instill one or two things that creates that aha moment for you and causes your life to spark up in a new and inspired way, then it's done its job. But by all means, I'm no different. I'm no better than anybody else. I guess I've just been willing to maybe make a lot more mistakes a lot quicker, which has got me to where I am.
I love what you talked about, how you sought and learned and sought out information. It's like, hang on, and how some of those experiences, for example, your bankruptcy, were those catalysts to have you seek out other reasons and possibilities. So in that you're saying, I did all of these things, yet before that what you brought was a curiosity, an intense curiosity and openness to possibility. That there must be there's got to be a reason for this. Now, you didn't know what that would be, and you didn't know what path that would be on, but you were very, very open to that, and probably that openness expanded and changed as you continued to take steps forward. And I suppose for anyone picking up this book for the first time who may have, and we all do, and me included, have a belief set that we currently hold, open your mind and just, if you've got different dreams for your life than when you're at now, is to take that same openness and curiosity to even turning those pages and explore and notice what comes up as you explore the book.
Yeah. I guess, like if you're watching or listening to this right now and you're completely inspired and fulfilled in every aspect of your life, like, don't pick the book up. Yeah, if there's some area of your life, whether it be your relationship with yourself, the way that you speak to yourself, your relationship with your partner, intimacy, sexual experience, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with money. If there's anything where you think, you know what, like, I want more, or I want different, or I deserve more or different than what I've got, pick the book up and pick it up, as you said, Miranda, being open, because just realize that these are my experiences. They're not necessarily your experiences. However, I'm where I am because I chose to seek out and surround myself around people that had things that I wanted. And they had worked hard, or they'd broken through some stuff to get there. And me being around them allowed me to achieve it, I believe, easier, because I could learn from their mistakes. And I guess that's the opportunity everybody has, is that right now my life is a reflection of my relationship with myself. Like, full stop. The same as your life is the same as everyone. Now, we can guilt and shame ourselves about that. And certainly, I went through a huge transformation process writing this book, because there's a lot in this book that nobody knows about me. There's stuff in this book that I've never told anybody besides my now beautiful partner. Nobody's ever known about me, my family, my friends, nobody. But through this process, I actually allowed myself to heal some even deeper part of me that had this shame around what people might think of me. And I put that aside to hopefully help others have that same experience where they can live their own inspired life.
That vulnerability, and I think for those that have ever stepped into vulnerability for a moment will know that great gifts come from that, and it is where the greatest, I guess, change can occur and opportunity can come up, and the drawing together of people happens when we expose ourselves to those vulnerable moments. So thank you for the gift of your vulnerability, Barry, and bringing those for all of us. And I suppose you touched on who the book is for. And you if you know people that want, or if you're listening and you want something different in your life from what you currently have, then this book is for you. And it is not just for tradies; it is for human beings.
Yeah.
Right. I suppose this episode transcends Tradie Business School, and we're going to step outside, and it's for everyone.
Yeah, just for one episode. So look, if you'd like to get your copy, we'll put an Amazon link somewhere around here. Grab a copy through Amazon, and if you find it helpful, useful, if you get something out of it, I'd absolutely love if you could reach out and find me somewhere on the interwebs and let me know. And equally to write a review on Amazon. But for now, click the link below, get your copy, and look forward to hearing your experience.
Yeah, congratulations. This is such an exciting day. So excited for you. And I'm sure that everyone else listening will be dropping some comments below because it's a fabulous, fabulous book.
Thanks, Miranda.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there for now.